One look at Barton Springs, and most of us imagine a great swim on a hot summer day. In Austin, in the mid to late 1800s, pioneer citizens appreciated the springs for more practical purposes. In a land often plagued by drought, they were a prime source for clean, clear drinking water. This liquid gold fired the imagination of many an entrepreneur. The spring's steady flow meant money, power, and industry. A ferry carried lumber, stone, and flour to the north bank of the Colorado River. These were the raw materials that the new capital of the Texas Republic needed to grow. The cool ponds created by the mill dams became a popular destination for picnics and day trips. Pioneer diaries and newspapers recounted many of these gatherings.
Last Saturday, being a beautiful day and very suitable for shaking off the dust of city life, buggies were seen hurrying past en route for Barton's Creek at Walsh's Spring. The springs pouring forth such a large volume of water, our thirst was repeatedly quenched. The creek so clear and beautiful, coursing its way o'er a pebbly bed. The magnificent trees that swayed in the forest beauty, and the superior magnificence of the waterfall at the mill dam. All were objects of pleasing interest, and the impression made by this lovely scene will long remain.
In 1860, Michael Paggi, an energetic Italian immigrant, saw many opportunities in the springs along Barton Creek. He leased the old mill spring on the south bank of Barton Creek, just downstream from the main Barton Springs. Here he built a grist mill in the shade of the pecan and elm trees. In 1871, Paggi kissed his growing family goodbye for a time, traveling to Europe to purchase the equipment for Austin's first ice factory. Early Austinites welcomed a visit from the Iceman, whose deliveries ensured the preservation of household goods in the sweltering heat of summer. Paggi didn't stop with the ice factory. Newspapers of the day reported on his many improvements that turned the rugged creek banks into a more civilized place for an outing.
Our friend Paggi shows a very commendable zeal in his efforts to make his pleasant retreat at Barton Springs a popular and pleasant resort. He already has his ice manufactory in full operation. He is also building several bathrooms at the spring and will soon have a fine assortment of bathing robes for ladies and gentlemen and every convenience provided for bathing.
In 1877, Austin experienced a severe drought and Paggi's mill ground to a halt.
People who have been over to Paggi's mill and listened to the roar and rush of water from the immense Barton Springs will be astonished and mortified to learn that it has nearly gone dry. Mr. Paggi has not been able to run his mill for 3 or 4 months past.
Every generation living in central Texas contended with unpredictable cycles of flood and drought. Just a year later, when the waters returned, they came back with a fury.
Early in the morning, while workmen were busily engaged on the new mill dam, a mighty roaring like a storm was heard. When the men looked up, they saw a body of water about 5 or 6 feet high, rushing down the dry creek. The water bounded over the big rocks and shot into the air like a waterspout. The surge struck the new dam, and it was carried away like chaff before the wind.
The flood of 1878 set back the construction of a new flour and corn mill at the springs. When finally complete, the 4-story grist mill became the most recognizable structure on the spring for years. By the 1890s, Austin's need for power was starting to outgrow Barton Springs. The city limits expanded south of the Colorado River, and the population swelled to more than 15,000. A dam across the Colorado was completed in 1893. and would supply electricity for the growing city. By 1900, the mills at Barton Springs were just a memory, and the age of industry at Barton Springs was over. As an oasis of recreation and social life for the citizens of Austin, Barton Springs was about to come into its own.